So at the moment I'm spending quite a wee bit of time doing a lot of reading for my master's thesis. The main subject of my master's thesis is some aspects of the theology of George MacDonald. Now, George MacDonald was a Scottish 19th century pastor, theologian, author as well. In fact, he's like the precursor to Tolkien and C.S. Lewis. He kind of pioneered adult fantasy. So you would say in some ways he's the architect of Narnia and Middle-earth in a previous edition of his work, where he invents people and places and creatures and experiences that are otherworldly. So at the moment I'm reading probably his most popular and influential fantasy novel, which is called Lilith. And Lilith is the mythical figure who was meant to be Adam's first wife, and she was a very cruel and self-absorbed person, and the story is her gradual, painful awakening and transformation. But the first half of the book doesn't even mention Lilith really, it's just through the eyes and the voice of the narrator. And amongst other things, I think it's actually a study in loneliness, being a solitary person. And it's interesting because the narrator, who's the main protagonist, comes to this self-awareness of just how lonely and how isolated and how solitary his life has become, and then goes on this transformational journey to bring more meaning to his life. At one point he actually says that he would rather read the book than have a good conversation with the author of the book. And so he has this awakening to the fact that he's really just surrounded himself with knowledge but not wisdom, with voices but not people, with books but not community. And it really touches on something that I think is deep at the heart of our human experience, that also reflects and connects us with God and our union with God. I think it touches on the fact that we are communal people. We want relationship. We are at our best when we are with others. We are not meant to be solitary and by ourselves. Now yes, we all need quiet time and recharge time and a little, peace and quiet now and again, but by and large we are people who need each other. We are built for, you could say, created for actually, community with each other. And one of the primary revelations of this is really the life of God, because God is within himself pure relations, infinite and eternal relations amongst Father and Son and Holy Spirit, this mysterious and beautiful union of the divine persons. Another way in which this is confirmed to us, I think, is when it talks in the New Testament about the fruit of the Spirit, the fruit of the Holy Spirit, being love and joy and peace and patience and kindness, etc. And when you think about it, these fruits, these attributes, these moral qualities, these ethics can only really develop within community. They only make sense when you're with others. If you're isolated by yourself on a desert island, you could exercise self-discipline certainly, but all the other fruit of the Spirit really take community in order to be meaningful, to actually exist properly at all. So the very thing that the Holy Spirit grows within us, the fruit, the manifestation of his life, actually can only happen when we are in community, in relations with each other, so that it's not just enjoying the books, but we are enjoying the people who write the books. You could say having a relationship with people, not just online with voices and tweets, but being face to face and within each other's lives. That is the place where the fruit of the Spirit develops. That's the place where we become more human and more alive, and when we realize more about who we are and what life is about, and actually who God is. Because not only are we salt and light, we are called to be salt and light, and we know that, but also other people can be salt and light to us. They can show us, they can shine light on our lives, they can season our lives with the very kindness of God, so that the fruit of the Spirit is developed within us. So my wheels are turning quite a bit these days on trying to understand some of George MacDonald's thoughts, but then getting deeper into the reality of the necessity of community and relationship within our lives to cause us to become the very people that we're created to be by the work of the Spirit. So hopefully that's a little bit of food for thought, and you can ponder that. Until next time, peace.